Yeah. Yeah. No, that's yeah, no, that was terrifying. Same. Okay, O2 the heart rate is high, but that's no, we had one in the house because we all have asthma. We actually have to monitor our O2 rates with fair regularity. I just don't generally do it in front of people. My mom has really severe reactive airway. Dad is overweight, almost 6. So wait, what? 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 Oh God. Okay, I am too old for this reference, and oh, okay, boomer. I probably did. Oh yeah, the last time we talked about this, talking about timeline as a ring, and there's very confusing diagrams written in my notes. Thanks, Owen. Okay, episode. It is 8 November 2020. Oh, you can hear me? Oh, able to. No, 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 no. Apparently. Oh, I'm not muted.
Slow. Slow?
Ah,
I mean,
yes.
from getting to the end of the stream.
No,
Well, that was
well,
good.
when we first set out doing this, we thought we'll
We
try
were
and make
so
this
slick and professional.
it was all right, and now it's just this is even we're live. There's not even a proper intro. Hey guys,
We
We're live.
yeah, we're live.
Hello,
Hi, yes, hello. Welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Yoranta, the Not Whaling Seas. We still don't have another name for this damn show.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Tired of Yoranta.
Tired of Yoranta.
That came out wrong. I just mean that we're tired.
No, it's fine. Like,
Well, technically we did leave Yoranta. We're going to Lorak.
that's a good point. We're literally tired of Yoranta because we ain't even on the continent.
We are
Actually,
not
no,
even on the continent.
you've not
Yoranta
quite
was the
crossed the
world.
continental divide yet. You know,
Gambling's legal out here.
Oh shit.
There's casinos out here,
In international waters.
yeah.
it was legal where you were.
I know this, but now it's exciting because it's sea gambling.
Sea gambling.
Anyway, episode 70. I'm sick. Lucy's recovering from being sick. I think Anton's okay, but tired. And Owen is, as always, fey and inscrutable.
Stressed.
Yeah, okay.
Stress levels are very high in life at the minute.
Just for posterity's sake, good news, everyone! Trump did not win the election.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woot woot.
Yeah, so episode
Many-
70, that's what's going on. Normally we don't talk about politics or world events here, because this is D&D. But, I think it's important to notice that we're not gonna be under a madman for the next 4 years.
It's episode 70
Agent
numerically.
Orange has been deposed. Get rid
Yeah,
of
that's true. It's episode 70 numerically, but it's 46 in spirit.
God.
Wow. Well, my hair is
Jesus.
blue. Like, I've
Oh yeah.
dyed my hair for democracy.
Nice.
See, it's weird because in the UK, the Conservative Party is blue and the Labour
Yeah,
Party is red.
Same here.
So it fucks me up every American election. So I'm like, wait, the maps. Oh no, that's not good.
Also, I vote for the Orange Party where I am, so
Oh blimey.
yeah, exactly.
I'm with the Greens usually, but you can't vote in the Democratic primary if you are Green Party in the United States, so
Hmm.
anyway.
Hooray for broken political systems on both continents.
Ye friggin' ha.
Yeah. Also, I was very glad to help you win your election by repeatedly voting illegally across the border. I'm really glad to have
Of course,
contributed.
yeah.
They mailed me like
worry, yeah.
4 fake IDs, and I used all of them. It was great.
I am so thankful to you, Anton, for voting
I
for the
am-
election.
Actually, 56 legally dead people.
Ew.
Also, the whole 4 seasons thing that's just happened is cracked. Oh, boy. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Well,
My assumed name is Jeff Combo List, and I bought myself off of a random website somewhere. You can't see it.
That's
Don't worry
right.
about it.
I live in Boise, Alabama. I don't know if that's a real place.
No.
I managed to trick people with my very convincing accent.
Jesus Christ.
I will end you.
Kansas City, I see.
My name is Ivarius Minch, Planet Traveler, and today I'll be voting for Joe Biden.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
This has become a gong show. Episode 70. Should I do a recap?
Please.
Um,
It's
Save
a
us-
question. In a democratic system, if a wizard casts simulacrum, can they vote twice? How does
very
you know?
They're not a
These
separate
are-
entity, so no.
What if I cast clone, but the clone wakes up prematurely?
These would all be questions that would need to be answered in D&D.
Please
Just
recap
like
us.
voting rates for undead and other questions like that.
Oh boy.
last time, that's right. We had just been attacked with Caranculux in the cafe. So we sort of tried to investigate, but didn't really find out much. Couldn't really find out much. Vigil almost started shit at the palace, or it kind of did.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was last session. But we got out of there and started planning for our little journey to the Dragonlands. We boarded the Scion of the Tide, a small little ship carrying a 5-figure bribe for the pirates of the Honeycomb Islands. And quickly did, in fact, run into pirates. Another ship. Brief battle was waged, but we kind of wrecked them, being 13th level badasses. And Captain Hector And I think they're mostly elves, right, on this new ship?
There are a handful of elves. There's a pair of elven siblings on
Sorcerers.
board. The rest of the crew are a mix. They're human, half elves, gnomes, halflings, and the captain is a dragonborn.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, we board the new ship because I guess the islands are closed to outsiders. But Captain Hector is like, I'll transport you. The Storm King or whatever wants to see you.
Yes, it seems that they've been looking for people that look like you, that match your description.
Because we stopped the Wailing Seas.
Yeah. And it seems like the Sea Elves have picked up on your identities through some means.
And finally, Soren chats with a really weird guy.
Oh, the Gray Man.
This is the guy that went over from our ship onto theirs too, right?
Yeah, he followed
And
us.
he is super. He's like.
Just a dude, man. Just a dude.
Fucking weird.
He's like that weird character in the first chapter of a Stephen King book who is totally the villain, but is just like hanging out, and then later you realize it was the villain. Anyway, something weird is going on there.
It's oddly
Don't
easy
worry
to
about it.
talk
Herring.
His name is Red Herring. Yeah.
He didn't even have a name. He was like, "Hey, just give me a name," and I was like, "No, you need your own name." Yeah, it was fucking weird.
Yeah. And now it's episode 70. Let me put some not this music on.
Yeah. Yes, so you are currently a handful of days sail away from the Honeycomb Islands, and the settlement known to the pirates that live there as the Hive. And you are being brought there first, where a man known as the King of Nowhere,
That's right.
who is the one that's been looking for your party, you have to be brought for him. And then Captain Hector has agreed to take you further east to his homelands in Lirac. We left off with Rune as Soren having the conversation with the strange, mysterious man who was curled up in kind of the crew's quarters on a pile of canvas, wrapping himself up to sleep off the journey, it seemed. And yeah, so we find ourselves on the ship heading
What's the name
east.
of our new ship?
It is called the Flying Flump.
Oh, that's right.
It had
That
that
was
weird ass
it.
figurehead.
Yes, with the figurehead being a
flump.
beautifully rendered flump. Several tentacles from the flump do look like they've snapped off in various storms and battles, you could imagine.
Yep.
The ship itself, you'd reckon, Enzo, is probably more of a smuggler than a fighter. It's quite small, maneuverable. Could probably get a reasonable way up some larger rivers, kind of vessel. It's not a capable of ocean travel, but it's not a galleon by any stretch. And yeah, the crew are going about their business. They don't embrace you in open arms, but they don't resent your presence. They seem pretty happy to engage with you. Yeah. What are you guys up to?
Do you want to tell us about the weird guy rune in character?
Yeah, after I talk with him, I'll probably come down and find y'all. Where are you? Are you in the same room, or?
I'd probably be setting up my room, checking for traps essentially.
Drawing shit. Yeah, every time Soren walks into a room these days to have a conversation, he just sets down the lantern and turns it on. By the way, it's habit at this point. It's weird, but it's habit.
Understandably so, I feel. We've been scryed on so many goddamn times at this point.
You're not paranoid if they're actually out to get you.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
It's
you'll
not
hear.
paranoid if the coffee really is poison.
Enzo! Get in there!
Yeah, come in. It's not locked.
Oh, well, it's polite to knock, right? Yeah,
Sure,
open the door.
sure. Wait, how do I know you're the real Soren? Yeah, come in.
Just look at you like, what? Is Vigil in here as well, or?
Can't remember how we did that. I think it was me and Vigil.
Vigil fucked off to go and find somewhere to meditate.
Oh, alright.
I'll just
But,
message you on the earpiece then.
Vigil, come downstairs, we need to have a chat.
Right. And then, about 2 minutes later, you hear the of half plate. Just moving in and past.
Find anything interesting?
I found a cold, dark room. Perfect. That's about it.
Right. No, I just, there's a fella who, hey, well, he did follow us. Didn't have a name, wanted me to give him one, really nondescript. And I don't mean like, oh, this is just an average crewmate, and he's a little odd. I mean, really, genuinely, this fellow, like, I would have lost track of him if I hadn't actually been looking for him.
You said he didn't have a name?
He didn't have a name, he wanted me to give him one. Consult my notes, because it's been 2 weeks. Right. No, he's, kind of... He said he was headed east out of curiosity. Mostly people called him Old Man, but... It's from Orin? Really, really weirdly nondescript. I mean... Okay, I know it sounds like, oh, I just found a really nondescript person, but, like, really, he didn't... He wanted me to give him a name, and that's weird.
No, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that one of them came over to the ship, but I was like, whatever, he's a sailor and he's looking for new work. But if he just happened to come over at the same time we did, and he's being weird about it, that's...
Yeah, no, and he wasn't even working with the crew at the time, he was just kind of curled up in a pile of rope.
Did it seem like he couldn't remember his name? Or like he didn't...
No, he said people just mostly called him Old Man. Usually went by whatever anybody called him. I didn't give him a name, I figured, you know, you name it, it imprints on you, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm tired and I hate boats. Can never get away from these.
Two-way thing, I think, the name situation.
What?
Giving something a name. It's two-way street. Connects you to them and them to you.
Right, because
I mean,
I named
Grilla
you.
is not my real name.
I know it's not, it's that weird, well, not weird, but it's that Sylvan series of...
It has... I don't know. Feels. It feels.
Think he's fey, Glimmer?
I don't think so. Not one I recognize or know, or though. I mean, if we don't all instinctively know each other, I can be fooled as well as anyone.
Oh, right, yeah. I just didn't know if you... Forget that you've mostly spent your life with me here in Imperials.
More to fairy than summer and winter, and so maybe.
Then, what do we do about him? Do we know of anything of his intent at all, other than he intends to travel?
He seemed curious. He wanted to know about me. He asked a lot of questions. He was curious in sort of a really non-offensive way, and before I realized it, I was just telling him things. That seemed odd. Exactly.
That's a strange thing. We should maintain a good eye on him at most times, if possible.
He's really easy to lose track of, actually.
Am I getting?
If
Am I?
possible.
Am I overthinking it? I'm getting a vibe of like when you hear people talk about meeting a god or something or an eidolon. They kind of talk about like that sometimes. Like, oh,
Could have just been any.
or they came to me and we had a strange conversation. You know, this unassuming person.
Do you want me to keep talking to him?
Yeah. Don't divulge anything, but
Oh, right.
learn more if you can.
With the discussion.
I mean, should I name him? Should I give him a name?
And just a nickname is fine.
Yeah. I mean, Glimmer was a nickname because I couldn't pronounce his full name, but that had weight, apparently.
I don't know. If he has issue or continues to ask questions, and some of them pry too far, I'm assuming a name would be easier just to tell him to stay the fuck away.
You know what you can do? When you can, today or tomorrow, send to whatever our old captain's name was.
Oh, right.
Sparto del Mio?
Rosaria.
Rosaria.
No, not the old. I mean, like just the one from last session. Send to Rosaria and be like, "Hey,
right,
what was?
okay, yeah.
Where did you like get this guy? Can you tell me everything you know
Actually,
about?"
I could just do that now. Send it. Okay, so. Yeah, I'll just ring her up real quick.
Okay. Spells cast. Goes, hello.
Hi, sorry,
Yeah.
Soren from earlier.
Pirates taken you already.
No. We're fine. They're rather pleasant actually, but there's a fellow who followed us over. A grey individual, sort of older. You remember him?
Visela.
Eh?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Does he have a name?
He was one of the crew.
Right. Sign on with a name. You're...
She kind of puts you on mute. Yells something. Bolson, since you signed up, gave no name, but did not ask for coin.
Huh.
Ask what port or like where he.
Where did you pick him
joined.
up? He says he's from Oran. Is that where you found him?
A coon, I presume.
We didn't want payment.
Who are you asking about?
The
Yes, the man. Yes.
Yeah, sort of an older fellow, kind of grey blue eyes, very nondescript. I mean, like to a weird degree, nondescript. Like you'd forget about him if you didn't.
Yeah,
actively
I never
think
forget
him.
the face.
Right. Anyway,
I know the man you mean. Yes, he crossed over from ship to ship
right.
during the negotiation.
Right. He just seemed to want to come with us out of curiosity. But he was headed east. Anyway, I thought you might have a name for him, but he just seemed unusual and odd that he followed. But really, yeah. Sorry to bug you.
It is quite alright. Good to hear you are not yet deceased.
Oh no, we're fine. They're pirates, but they're all right.
Very well. Over and out.
Bye. Boop.
So nothing really there, huh?
I just realized I said something interesting without really meaning to, but you would forget about it if you weren't actively thinking about it. He just sort of fades into the... Kind of reminds me
Very
of
strange indeed.
like someone who is really intentionally bland to avoid notice. A spy or something.
I have magic like that now. I wonder if it's related.
I don't know. You're better at talking to people than I am.
And see if I can.
Yeah, if you want to go have a chat with him, he's up in the ropes. Kind of in a pile of him. You'd really have to be paying attention to find him, though.
I am
Part of
thoughtful.
me wonders. Part of me wonders if we are making more of a big deal out of this than it is, but I think we should keep an eye on him just in case we aren't.
I mean, given that. I mean, given
It's
that.
bitten us before, not being attentive.
Right, and given that we've sort of pissed off the Kavuli Empire and a handful of
True.
devils and demons and fae, it's worth at least investigating things to make sure that we're not to get stabbed in the middle of the night by some very miscellaneously nondescript individual. I don't think he's harmful. He's very weird.
It never hurts to check.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think at this point it might be easier to list off the people we haven't pissed off, in all honesty. We are getting quite the name for ourselves as enemy makers.
I'll have a chat with him. I also want to speak to another sailor.
Okay.
Maybe just. Okay.
I think I'm due for watch here in a minute, so me and Glimmer are gonna go.
Did we sign up for watch?
Did.
You did? Okay. Alright.
And I think all of us are supposed to be on watch in general. I just don't think we've done much of it yet. We've done like one or two. Because we had the initial... we signed up for watch on the other ship. We haven't for this one, I don't think. But I think we've been drafted into the duty anyway because, no one travels for free.
We chatted, and I asked if do so we can fly. So anyway, Soren will head up and take Glimmer with him.
Glimmer turns into a cat.
Oh, all right. What are you? Are you all right?
Well,
Meow. Really?
yes, I'm in disguise.
Just we're going up. We're gonna go fly. So you can be a bird if you want. You don't be a cat.
Yes, but they said there's another cat on the ship, and it's been a long time since I've got to play with anyone.
You want to go find the other cat then?
What was the plan? I just didn't want to talk about it out loud.
I haven't left the room, so.
Shit. Well, this was in Sylvan, so well, hey. Ha ha
Sure.
ha.
Meow. Meow.
Meow meow meow
Meow,
meow meow
meow,
meow
meow,
meow meow
meow,
meow 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 meow
meow.
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 So,
Glimmer kind of looks around, stalks out the room.
I have these strangest
What?
friends. Meow. And Soren just walks out.
What? Do we smell or something?
Meow.
I don't... Are we not...
Heading to the top deck, the crew are at work, doing sailing things, tending to ropes and sail, and keeping an eye out, cleaning various gubbins around the ship. The bosun who you've met before, Viana, who is a Oranese woman, quite tall and heavily built, is kind of commanding the crew with great authority. The captain's at the helm, seems pretty relaxed. There's not a lot of tension on the ship. Glimmer finds Pepper the cat, and they start being cats, doing what cats do. Exploring the ship. Glimmer seems quite content just to pretend to be a rather normal cat.
Well, he is a massive orange Maine Coon, so.
Yes, Pepper is a kind of black and white speckled creature, but it's quite lean and wiry. It has the same kind of aura as a real old sea dog sailor, where sort of their skin's crusted with salt and sun, but as a cat, the cat equivalent. And yes, you can see also that the sorcerer Marek is also at the stern of the ship with the captain, and is using his magic to aid in the ship's passage. So it looks like he's doing something with winds. Let's see. And the
See,
ship
I
is
told
going.
you it was possible.
It's going faster than you'd expect. Sort of the natural wind is not favouring the speed and direction the ship is going, but the ship seems to be going at quite a pace nonetheless. So, you're looking. My understanding is that you're looking for the old man. Is
Indeed.
that correct? Okay,
Rune?
Huh?
You're muted.
who is looking?
I'm not.
Are all three of you searching in different parts of the ship, or
Now, Rune's going off to do watch, correct?
Yeah,
Soren
I-
and Glimmer off to do watch. Does that mean leaves? Is that what you said?
What? Am I?
I don't think anyone's looking for the old man right now.
okay?
I thought Enzo was gonna go look for him, but
I
no,
will, but I was waiting
Yeah,
because
Soren.
I want to do another thing first.
Yeah, Soren's gone
Okay.
off to go basically get on his broom and keep pace with the ship, and keep a watch
Okay.
in the sky. Can I keep up with them, or are they going faster than?
I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't know the comparative speeds of a flying broom to a ship. I will say just about, but it's like you're having to really go full throttle.
Okay.
Um,
I could not have two people on my broom and keep pace.
no.
Okay.
Once I have
So-
a moment,
Yes.
essentially once a short rest has been completed, because I need my spell slots back.
That's fine. Sure, say hour passes.
I first of all, Vigil, do you leave in the hour? What do you do?
If Soren's off to go do watch and you're off to go do something else, Vigil will actually probably go and look for the old man. Just initially, to try and get a read on him before the group approaches him.
I
See
will
if he
s-
approaches me as well.
I will say, yeah, go do that. Let's all talk to him individually.
Okay.
You first, and then me last.
So we will start with Vigil searching for the old man, then Enzo your first task, and then Enzo talking.
It's
to
gonna
the
go
old man.
great. I've got really high perception.
Soren, can you make me a perception check, please, for your watch?
Yeah.
Oh, Vigil, he's not impossible to find. You're on a ship. You will find him in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
Gain.
But you find him on the deck. The bosun has taken a break from yelling orders up and down the ship. She is leaning against the main mast with what looks like a kind of some kind of hook in her hand that she's just kind of toying with, and seems to be chatting with the old man. The old man's kind of standing in front of her, arms crossed, chatting. As you approach, you overhear her finishing a response to some question. She goes, yeah, well, I didn't really. Wasn't life for me, so here I am. And looks up, sees you, Vigil. It's time I got back to work. So, crew need organising. Right, you get the mizzenmast down, sails up, come on. Can't rely on Marek forever, he's going to get tired and fall over before you know it. Need to rely on the good old winds. Get ready for tacking. She stomps off up the deck.
Resumes her duties.
Yeah.
Leaving Vigil and an old man.
Yeah.
Presumably.
He turns around, looks you up and down, nods. Says, hello.
Evening. Vigil will not make a show of making deliberate attempts to go and talk to him. He is looking to see if he is approached. So for the first, 10 or so minutes, Vigil's just going to basically be above deck. Just sort of getting the lay of the boat, because I imagine I would have had a chance to do so during the day, but it's been a week, and Vigil needed at least a few moments of meditation.
Yeah.
So, Vigil's now taking that time to get a better layout of the boat. Maybe at some point he will ask to actually learn from these people and how to pilot a fucking boat because none of us can sail. No matter how many times we've been on a goddamn boat, not one of us can sail.
Don't you have vehicle proficiency?
Vehicle proficiency, not water vehicle proficiency, which I learned
Well.
is separate.
Now's the time to learn it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, Vigil, the person that seems the most willing to help teach you is the bosun, Oliviana.
Perfect.
Like
I
another
will give-
sailor would have picked up your offer first and be like, "Oh yeah, sure, I can teach you a thing or two about ropes. This is what you want to do," and then she'll come over, basically like, "Don't want to learn from him. He's lost 3 fingers for good reason." Accidents. I only take fingers in the direst of circumstances.
I
Let me
see.
show you the ropes.
Literally, presumably.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, I see how you could have thought I was attempting humor. No.
We'll get along just fine.
Good. And she'll happily
Yeah.
start teaching you ship things.
After a period of time, the Vigil will see if the old man is still there. Or is he fucked off?
He left where he was by the mast. Had actually spent the last 10 minutes talking to the old seasoned sailor that you first spoke to.
Interesting. Okay. After, you know, after a period of time has passed, Vigil will be like, okay, I think I will, think on that for a little bit and sort of ruminate. And then we'll wait till the old man's free and then go and basically approach him at that point. If he's
Okay.
not approached me during all this, I will approach him now.
Yeah. Well, once, as you leave the house, if you need anything else, just come grab me if I'm free.
Sounds good.
And get you at the crow's nest in no time.
Well, if I fall, then you'll know.
Yes.
And then
From
Vigil
all of the
goes
noise
to...
of your armor crashing onto the ground.
Yes, that was what
We
I was
will have to
implying.
repair any splinters in the deck that you cause.
There's magic for that, I imagine.
I'm
And then,
joking.
thinks about Soren.
Anyway,
Right, I'm going to go now.
Hey!
And then Vigil...
Bill, what the hell do you think you're do? Get back to work! And basically gets the old sailor to stop chatting and lollygagging and get his job done. The old man kind of gives a slight wave of apology for distracting him, turns, and then just looks you up and down. Hi.
Evening.
Kind of wraps the canvas that he's adopted as a blanket slash cloak around him a little bit tighter. Yes.
So you boarded the ship with us. What journey do you intend? Elsewhere, the seas, port. What is your goal here?
No. I'm heading east.
Lorak or further?
Lorak. I have some curiosities in that direction. It's a long time since I've been.
Okay. Define sense.
Nice.
There's really nothing to see.
Okay, so he guessed he saw that then, or sensed that in
Celestial.
some way.
There's
Oh,
a
okay.
about 3 feet in front of you.
Vigil narrows his eyes slightly. Right. I am assuming that it was unwanted in some manner, and this is something you are attempting to conceal. I will say nothing.
Well, it was. It's fine, really. It's water under the ship, as some would say. Just, I'd appreciate certain things being kept I'm just a
under
traveler.
wraps, as it were. Then, just a traveler. What do you? I have to wonder. Your purpose heading east. I've had a storied history, we'll say, and I'll say no more.
Yes, you're. It's Kavoli armor.
It isn't. Not anymore, it isn't.
Oh no, because you swapped the breastplate out.
I swapped it to the big spooky skull plate instead.
Is that the whole suit?
Oh, like yeah, it was a half plate, remember?
Oh, okay.
Because Vigil's old one was cast
Yeah.
off half plate, and he swapped it to the +2. He's also got rid
Oh,
of
okay.
all of the
That
gold
is my
shit
bad.
that's in his bag.
Okay.
He has the half cloak, but that's in the bag as well. So Vigil's entire Cavoli thing is in a bag now.
He will look you up and down.
Hmm.
Tell me about it.
As I said, I will say not a huge amount further. Storied history, needless to say, we have had some pursuers. Some of
I'm not
which are the
one.
opposite nature of yourself.
Also not what you think. I'm just a traveler, really.
Most travelers don't feel like you do.
No, but you have
Very well.
nothing to fear from me. Really. I'm just wanting to head east.
I generally fear very little.
Yes.
Well then,
Kavoli?
X.
Ah. I've not had much opportunity to speak with someone who lived and fought with them. Against them, many, but after the tragedy of what happened, there weren't many left to talk to.
Who might that be that you spoke to? Where from?
Oh, uh, folks who'd survived. So again, not Cavoli. I'm sorry, no. Soldiers on the other side, rebels, various Tessic nobles and such.
To sell.
It's a wide world with a lot to see.
And I imagine you've seen a lot of it from the way you are speaking.
I travel. Where are you from?
Well, initially,
Look like you've journeyed
Cavol.
far.
Initially Cavol.
I see you from the mountain.
What did he say, sorry?
Ah, so you're from the mountain
Hmm.
itself, rather. You were born upon the slopes, rather than
Well,
adopted.
not many are born on the mountain. But close enough.
Well,
How
here if
about
you
you?
wish to talk. I'm from everywhere, nowhere, really. Again,
No one is from everywhere. You are born in one place, and you die potentially scattered over many, in some cases.
Oren.
Right, Oren. Do you have a name?
None in particular. Most folk simply give me one. Though your companion seemed reluctant to do so, I think he is concerned over the power of such things. I don't. I'm just an old man.
I do not believe that for a moment. If I am honest.
That is your choice.
It is my choice and is also my perception. Have a good evening. Vigil begins to make his way away.
I was thinking it was morning, he says, looking confused. Soren, given that crazy perception score, I'm assuming you're probably keeping an eye on this conversation.
Yeah.
He looked genuinely kind of deflated when Vigil left.
Huh. Okay.
Not like actually physically deflated, but emotionally deflated. I just thought
I
I'd
was
clarify.
gonna say,
He doesn't like
Owen...
into the cranks and boards.
Balloon Man.
But yeah, he
flies
kind
off
of
like a
turns
bird.
and just turns and looks out to sea.
So, I missed this, because I'm taking notes, but... Vigil's Divine Sense was blocked?
The divine
No.
sense worked and picked up Celestial.
Yeah.
Oh.
Vigil will,
But
after he leaves the area, will fucking tell everyone on the Spire's Murmur. Old man, Celestial.
Oh. That sounds good, right?
Well, they're lawful. I don't know about good.
Well,
Refuses to reveal any more on the origin.
I think mechanically the opposite is true. Celestials are good, but not necessarily lawful.
But tieflings are... Never mind, anyway.
I don't think tieflings are celestials.
No, they're... Other tieflings. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Enzo's like, that sounds good. That means we don't need to worry anymore, right? Or still?
He says he doesn't intend any harm upon us. That there is no threat from us. Refused to give me a name still. Stated his location of origin was Oren.
Do I know the word ASMR? Can I make a roll?
Yeah, sure.
What sort of roll?
Religion.
Do Asmar pop up under Celestial?
No,
Because
I
tieflings
don't.
pop up
I don't.
under
For the
both.
record, Anton doesn't think so. Oh, great! This is 6.
Yeah.
Maybe he has celestial
It's
blood,
a
like.
word you've heard
Oh, okay.
and probably remember because it sounds a little bit funny.
Because it's the first when you open the dictionary. It's the first word in there
Yeah.
with 2 A's.
You said he's celestial. Speak
Supposedly.
Speak celestial.
Worth a try.
I just want to know why he's here. I don't mean to be paranoid. I probably doesn't. Been a weird few months.
I tried to get as much out of him. He wanted to know more about my past. I refused.
He could just be. We have fiendish blood. He could just have celestial blood. Is that possible?
I don't know.
I would like to have a think about this, Owen.
I would say leave him alone, but up to you. I mean, talk to whoever you want to.
So what is it you're thinking about, sorry?
Just celestial-blooded people walking among the...
Sure. Make me
History, nature, or history,
religion?
religion.
Religion.
22.
22, okay. So in Yoranta, there's kind of a weird blurred line between Genasi and Asima.
True.
Given the semantics. So it's kind of more of a... They are kind of almost functionally similar roles. They are divinely touched or blooded people. So yeah, they exist. And there are celestial creatures that are kind of the manifested will or agents of Eidolon and the gods that exist, and presumably they can influence people, perhaps, and sort of larger. Like the Ashen Lady, there are probably known Asimar tied to the Ashen Lady, almost certainly. And for her, they're more likely to be Asimar than they would be, say, Fire Genasi.
Right.
Yeah, given that she's a fire-based Eidolon, but she's one that's become quite personified and humanized, and rather than a sort of a more raw elemental spirit.
Makes sense. She's almost like an angelic figure rather than
Yeah,
an elemental
Freyrin
figure.
as well as someone. Whereas
Like,
Tassa
yeah.
seemed to have been a bit more of a primordial water spirit that people worshipped.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but they are humanoids. I'd say you got over 20. You would know that Asimar are humanoids. They are not in themselves celestial creatures.
Okay. So they wouldn't ping us.
No, they would not.
Well, alright. So I pass that information along, and
So he
then
would be something more.
I think he's actually something. Right? I don't think he's an Aasimar. I could just go ask him. Or you can ask him, and so will shit.
I wasn't planning to talk to him anymore.
He
Alright.
didn't want to reveal much more about himself. Can I have a think on what I know about various angelic beings in general, or celestial beings in general, Owen? Given my...
Probably another religion check.
Alright, come on, Vigil. 22!
Yo, he's done it!
Okay. Yeah, so
No
what we
thy
were
enemy.
taught, given the Cavoli took a pretty logical route to their faith, I was told to understand how Cavol gave his gifts. Yes, most celestial entities in the world are manifestations of a god, will and power, with the most powerful of these being angelic figures. Though you do recall, and this would have been knowledge not spoken about in a formal context, that there are celestial beings outside of the Eidolon, beyond that people have been known to call upon.
Interesting. So actual celestials and gods, as opposed to Eidolon.
Celestial
That kind of thing?
entities.
Yeah. Not necessarily gods, but celestial entities outside of
Yeah.
Eidolon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though that was very much like a rumor, a reoccurring rumor, rather than anything formally.
I think if anything, Vigil probably would have heard that from within his unit, given the fact that he was like, nah, get strength from where you want. He was not into the whole you have to worship Cavol thing within his unit.
Hmm.
Which is what got him his punishment in the first place. So I think that's probably how he heard it.
Maybe the Inquisition tasked your unit to track down a creature that they had summoned and perhaps not bound as thoroughly as they thought and wanted to get rid of before it made them look bad.
Makes sense to me.
So on and so forth.
Vigil relays this. In so many words.
Right.
I'll,
Yeah, no.
I'll chat with him later. I'm just curious, actually.
To you.
I'm
My
suspicious.
curiosity is sated.
I wonder what that's like.
On this matter. I have other things to be curious about.
Alright.
Mine is alarmed. This is the alarming thing. And this has never happened before. He knew when I sensed him. The moment I did so. That devil didn't know when I sensed him. The fake that Orlando Donatori was using.
Right.
Maybe
He had no idea.
We just roll a nat 20 on perception. Or insight.
It's like that is alarming in of itself. There is no inclination that it happens. There is no thing to detect, and he knew.
Is that
This
true?
is what alarms me.
Does Divine Sense have a like kind of how spells have verbal somatic? Does it have a something
There's no thing
perceivable?
for
I
it.
don't think so. It's just you kind of open your third eye in a way.
Oh, well then yes, that is more. I wouldn't say worrying, but I don't know.
But he could just be someone fairly powerful who likes to wander.
Impressive.
And on a boat with us who is also a celestial. That
Why
does
not?
not alarm you in any way?
I mean, it intrigues me, but I'm not afraid of him. He doesn't seem like he wants to hurt anyone. Traveling.
It's fine.
Not many would seem like that in the first place. I'm
I'll go talk to him
Perhaps
some
it's-
more after I'm done flying around, alright?
perhaps it's old habits, but at the same time,
No, Vigil, I'm hearing you, and I'm saying I'll go talk to him.
right.
What you found out makes me less worried, not more, because when he was just a weird unknown, then I was worried. But now that I know this, it's like, oh, he's probably just some guy with some celestial powers, whatever.
Well, no,
I don't
mean,
think
if
that's the
he,
case, but
he's probably something very powerful, but...
He's a first level warlock with a celestial patron or something, and he has a what do they call it? He has an invocation that's like detect divine sense.
I don't know. I'll
he
have a
has
chat with
be
him.
mildly disturbing. That's his fucking invocation.
Sure. So Enzo would like to, assuming my short rest finishes,
Yep.
Enzo would like to go find the sailor that I saved. Because you remember a guy was drowning, and I dimension
Yeah.
doored twice to pull him out. Or maybe just once.
Yeah, he's pretty nearby. He is currently in a hammock, kind of in recovery,
That's right.
covered head to toe in salves and bandages.
Because I think he'd failed some death saves in addition to almost drowning.
He also got thrown into the sea by Sauron's fireball, so he had a bad day.
True.
Didn't I heal
Could have
him?
gone worse. You did.
I would like to find him. And the moment I see him, if he's recovering, hopefully I have a second where he doesn't see me. I'm casting Modify Memory. It's 30 feet range.
What?
Okay. Yeah, like he is kind of not asleep, but he's kind of snoozing.
Do you want to make a Wisdom save?
I'm going to say he's making this with disadvantage because
Yeah.
he is high on healing poultice. Shit.
Opium. Milk of the poppy.
That hurt me on a spiritual level. Um,
Yeah, no.
I fails.
Double fails.
Yeah, you just walk up and right there. Salma, maybe some water. And the spell takes a hold.
Interesting. I have to actually tell him what his new memory is. Well, I guess let's roleplay it then. Hi. Didn't catch your name. Do you remember when I pulled you out of the water? The ship twisted something fierce.
Aye. It's all foggy. Just got bandages covering everything but the eyes. A little bit of this kind of almost mint green poultice oozing out into his eyelids that he's kind of having to feebly wipe away onto these now green stained bandages on his hands.
Don't mean to. Well, I guess I'm like your savior today. It's alright, you don't have to pay me back.
Good.
But I did wonder if you could answer a question.
Anything.
You were pretty close when I pulled you out to the other side. Did you see anything?
dark and moaning in my head. All red and black. Nothing more. I've not got any answers to what lies beyond, if that's what you're asking.
I've been speaking to a few as part of my mission to save lost souls. I'm speaking to a few people who have come too close to the other side, and some of them have had strange stories of what they saw. So all you saw was darkness then.
I'm afraid you saved me too quick. And I've not got enough coin to come back, so...
No, you don't have to pay me. Although, I guess one small way you could repay me is, should you hear anything on the ship that might endanger me or my friends, the tiefling and the red-haired wizard, then any sort of mutiny or, I don't know, backstabbing, do come to me, okay?
It's a tight ship.
I don't think it would happen either, but I just want to be safe. I want everybody to be safe.
Creans his neck around to look, make sure that you are alone in the room. Not much of an eye I can keep, but what I can see, you'll know. At least I could do.
And then on the other hand, maybe people will underestimate you, and you'll overhear something unexpected.
The redhead did heal me, so I can't hold too much of a grudge. May the gods. So what is the effect of the modified memory?
You know, this works differently than how I thought it did. I thought I got to give him an image, and it says you must speak to the target to describe how its memory is affected. So I would have to tell him you remember X. And it must then be able to understand your language. Its mind fills in any gaps in the details. So I really didn't modify his memory all that much.
Okay, so what is it?
Do you want to know what my intent was?
Yeah.
I wanted to modify the memory so that I would be more of like an angelic visitor that like came down with like wings and like pulled him out.
Yeah. Okay, well that's fine. We can say it's filling in the gaps, right? You don't need to. It's just you're modifying his memory just to fill in a couple of extra details to make it that little bit more safer complex.
Right. So that he would trust me more, and
yeah, pretty much. He is. Yeah, we'll bear that in mind in his future actions.
okay. Well, I tell him rest well, my friend, and I don't know. I'll even drop something, maybe a little far, but I'll be like, the angels are watching over you. Like touch his shoulder and then just like leave.
Thank you. Store and shelter you.
Yep. Rest well, my friend.
Saved by the gods I was. Saved by the gods. And
Well-
he falls back into his drug-induced sleep.
Technically true. Marshalk is a god.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Technically true.
The best kind of true.
Anyway, that was yeah. I just wanted him. I wanted to leverage the fact that I saved him into. Should anything weird go on this ship, hopefully I have a early warning or something like that. Unlikely, but
Is this the old guy?
No, that was the token I was using for the captain.
uh,
'Cause
okay.
Yeah.
It turns out green dragonborn pirate tokens.
Even
that,
from-
that token to me looks like some sort of like Nikola Tesla character in a 1880s biopic. You know what I mean? Look at that. Looks like you
Yeah.
should be standing next to a Tesla coil.
Kinda.
It's I ran a pirate game for some people online, so I have a whole swathe of humanoid-looking pirates, but no dragonborn. But the old man is still on deck. He
So
genuinely just seems to be talking to sailors, really.
just talking to people. Okay. Soren will. I guess a watch is 4 hours.
Yeah.
So at the end of 4 hours, Soren will descend from guy back onto the deck, kind of shake himself off.
Right.
He's probably covered in
It's kinda-
salt water.
Yeah, cold, I imagine.
Yeah, hitting
It's,
himself dry.
He watches you carefully.
Is he watching me?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll just kind of nod him over. Can I sort of talk to him away from ongoings of
Sure.
the crew?
Yeah. Hello.
I overheard you speaking with my friend. Could hear it. Just
Okay.
I'm not. Look, you said you were curious. I'm curious too. I mean, come on, look at me. What?
You're a wizard. It is what they are. Mostly curious about curiosity itself, I suppose.
There's the world.
Precisely.
Here. Here. By this place.
What do you mean? Why this plane? I'm. No one ever really asks me many questions. Except you and your friend. Normally they simply talk. It's far easier. But well, I made a mistake, as most of us do. And now I have all the time to travel, and so I do. Here we are. The kind tied to family. Your friend's wrong, by the way. He thinks I'm some form of divine angel. I'm not. I've just been places, is all. I'd appreciate it if you didn't let him run around and spreading
No.
mistruths. I understand you. He's a man of some conviction, I can tell.
Because you'll hardly tell.
That I know.
I'm sure your conversation with frustrating
Brief.
and brief, yes.
Yeah. It's interesting that he is alive.
Yeah.
I believe them all dead. Strange.
Have you been through other cycles?
He stops and just stares at you. Hmm. Wizards.
Well,
It's
just me.
always fucking wizards.
Just me this time, I think.
Wizards singular plural, you're always far too curious and intelligent for your own good.
Sorry to take that, but I understand your frustration.
I've seen a few.
I know due to the nature of how it works in the world, what shows up, fuck around with it. Anything.
Oh. You've met them.
One. Yeah.
Which one?
Terrifying robot thing. I actually will open my spellbook and show him
Which
this
one?
sketch. I'll just show him the sketch of the thing that I made. Because someone keeps a journal.
Ah, Korut.
What?
Korut. Um, defenders of time. There are others. Just don't go breaking the laws of this world
I am.
on a deep and foundational level, and you'll you won't make my mistake.
I know I really have to know. You can't tell me without unraveling the fabric of the.
I will saw an Ashmere, right?
Yeah. Ashgar and someone.
Ah, of course. Oh boy.
Nora's Serere. Which, come on, I'm not that stupid that I just turned my name into an anagram. Apparently it was. In a different cycle. In this. Or, I don't know. That's the problem. There's apparently more of me than there should be here.
We should talk again. At a later date.
Like in the next cycle, or like later today. Look, time's gotten weird,
Oh.
alright, for me. Time's gotten really weird.
No, I appreciate your predicament.
We met before. Would you tell me? If you can't tell me without, you know, ripping open the fabric of space-time, I understand. Into the rules is no patient.
You know, where is it you're journeying to? Why?
Trying to put the fully
We're
around.
going to the calamity.
You know that, but sure.
Because it's the greatest wrong in the world. That's why. Where else would you be going?
Greatest what in the world?
We're trying to fix the world.
It is the greatest wrong.
There's a giant fucking hole in it. I'll meet you there.
Oh, right. Then I was
Yes.
going to leave.
I don't like drawing attention. And the allure of indiscreet travel has been somewhat discreet travel has been somewhat meddled with.
Sorry.
Through no fault of your own. This is I should have seen it coming.
Our boat with a ton.
It's a shame your friend decided he didn't want to talk with me anymore. He seems an interesting fellow.
Tormented.
And the Cavoli, also.
I only know vigils.
I'm sure I'll see you all again. He's gone.
Holy shit! I knew it.
Ask.
Rune, you did roll 25.
Did. You seem familiar.
No.
Okay, good.
Soren 3!
Please no.
Make me a Arcana roll.
24.
Ooh.
Blimey. He cast magic. But the runes that he cast were ones that you don't recognize
At all?
at all.
Do I remember what they look like?
Uh,
Do I have any inkling of maybe a few of them that I could quickly write down?
they seem to be primarily made up of two repeating patterns. That kind of overlapped and interacted in just strange ways. And it wasn't so much like he didn't conjure himself away. It's almost like he kind of just folded himself out.
Peace.
The real-time wizard.
Holy fuck. And it has no bearing or resemblance to the magic I've been experimenting, right? I've never seen anything like this before.
No.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it was runes cast in kind of primordially significant magical symbols that were sort of harsh lines and arcane circles.
I imagine it was fast, too.
Oh yeah, like it was, you know, twinkle of a star, gone.
Soren's just gonna stare at the waves for a good long minute and then turn around and...
No one else seems to have really noticed.
Lads?
Hmm.
I have news. Woohoo!
Huh?
Our,
What?
our friend, I think I'll call him Sojourner. Seems like a
I was
good
going to
name.
use Grey Man, but
Ah.
sure.
He knew about the things I've been working on. I asked him how many cycles he'd seen, and he froze like I'd slapped him.
Well,
have-
time-related shenanigans.
We have a time traveler. Said he'd made some mistakes. Anyway, look, don't talk about him. Don't spread word about him. He likes to travel discreetly. I don't think he. Don't make mention of. I'm sort of regretful.
Right.
He said he'd see us at the family. Going there too. It was the greatest wrong in the world. We were trying to. I told him we were trying to set the world to rights, and he said we were headed to the. Because it was the greatest wrong in the world. But we'll see him again. Yeah. I'm intrigued. For once, we meet somebody interesting, and they're not trying to kill us.
Makes a change.
You seem sad that you didn't want to talk to him anymore.
I have no need to reveal information to somebody who would not do the same in courtesy. In addition, as well, I do not know if we can trust them. Regardless of how benign they appear, we have no guarantee.
I think we can trust him. He knew about the thing we fought with Tyler. He seems to know about me.
Bizarre.
Yeah, oh no, this is all sorts of weird. Anyone hungry? Where's Glimmer?
With that, I'm looking at the completely wrong thing. Yeah, Sage the cook is more than happy to rustle up some grub any time of day.
Oh yeah.
And it is there you find Glimmer and Pepper the cat playing in the kitchen.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if that's anything in particular you want to do, the rest of the day is relatively uneventful. The ship is in relatively safe waters and simply making headway towards getting back to the hive. So, is there anything else our cast of characters gets up to over the next, let's say, I believe it was 2 more days before you hit the hive?
Mostly no, but you go, Lucy.
I basically want to try my best to learn how to run a ship. If possible, learn how to run a smaller ship, so that when the ship inevitably beaches, or when everyone decides to inevitably try and kill us, or we inevitably have to try and make an escape on a small, miserable boat in the middle of a horrible ocean, we have the ability to do so.
Okay.
You asked.
Yeah, no, Liviana is happy to continue your tutorage.
How should we measure progress on that?
I was thinking add half proficiency to water vehicles.
Alright, so I'll put like basic boat proficiency.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
And then any future learnings can round that off to full proficiency.
Would that be Jack of all trades then? Is
Well,
Jack of all trades half proficiency? Because
Yeah.
It
you
is.
can
I
choose
don't know whether
proficiency
that would-
bonus.
the Jack of all trades would apply to everything.
No, but you can apply it to one specific thing.
If you can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, like if I use intelligence now, half my proficiency is 5, and it's adding 2. So it's doing it.
Oh, sweet.
Hell yeah.
What if you roll another non-proficient check, though?
Yeah, well, the other ones haven't been modified. So if I use
Oh, okay.
Arcana, nothing.
Okay. I guess it works.
Aha.
I think there's a tick box which applies it to everything, but then in individual.
There
in the
is,
custom-
yeah.
Surprising.
In the cogwheel menu, you can select Jack of all trades and expertise and stuff. Whereas there's one on the tool proficiencies menu on the left, where
Yeah,
you can
'cause
add
that's a separate-
situational modifiers to tools.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, we'll consider it a half proficiency based on that.
Sick.
I will say Oliviana is kind of like you in that she's not one for just dumping. She's not much of a talker on her past.
Oh, don't you worry. Vigil is not
But-
either.
You learn that she's much like you and that she kind of respects strength, expects her crew to. She leads by example, expects her crew to reach her the example she sets, and has quite a noble bearing about her.
All right, her and Vigil get on very well.
Fair enough. And she is kind of refreshingly blunt and straightforward.
Hmm.
She will
Thank
criticize you when
fucking
you fuck
God.
up. She will compliment you when you do well. And no time for that socializing bullshit.
Thank God, somebody normal.
Yeah.
An introvert.
So, Soren and Enzo, couple of days. Just hanging about
Yeah.
ship, which is okay.
I'll get Soren to write your name in my book one more time.
Sure.
Put you back on the Farscribe list. And I will also use Farscribe to message Soraya. I'll ask two things. First of all, it's been a week or something. How's Winifred doing? Anything weird happen? Has he blown himself up yet?
He's asking for a lot of wax.
Okay.
A lot has been underlined and written in capitals.
And you're supervising everything he does, right? So you know this isn't gonna come as a surprise where suddenly a wax golem emerges from his lab or something.
We have him under 24-hour watch.
Okay, good. Put 1,000 gold into that motherfucker. He better not do anything stupid.
Wax.
Question 2 to Soraya. While we're here, hey, I'm heading. I don't think I ever told her. Maybe I did. That I'm heading to the Honeycomb Islands. That seems like a business opportunity, or at least something I should tell my large criminal employer about. Like, do you need any business done there? Is there while I'm there?
Let the king know we're operational in Akun.
Okay.
We have
Subtly or openly?
Give me a day.
Okay. Get back to me.
She decides to check with her superiors first.
Sure.
Before. Soraya, learning how to be responsible.
Essentially,
My
this is
God.
me asking the GM, if there's a side quest you want me to do for the peacocks while we're there, I can. Or just a conversation.
A day later, Soraya gets in touch and basically says, if you can find a way to get private conversation with him, you can speak openly.
Okay.
The Peacocks have had dealings with him before. They're on relatively good terms. And anything you can do to get him in good favor would be appreciated.
Okay.
And that the directors are looking to exploit developing political opportunities.
Looking to exploit developing countries.
Yikes.
Not quite the intent of the wording, but
Gotcha.
and
The king.
that they are more than happy to cast the king in the leading role.
Okay.
The theater lingo always makes me chuckle. Okay, that's my business.
Okay. And so?
Soren will obviously be buried in the Treatise of Time. He's just working to translate those last few pages. When I forgot to do this, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but Donatori, the Diablomancer, Soren would have told Caranculax about that conversation. I completely spaced on it.
Okay.
But he might have sent Caranculax ascending on the ocean. Whenever the timing works for your narrative, Soren would have been like, "Oh right, Orlando Donatori is in some shit."
Which conversation?
Ages ago, I sent a sending to Orlando Donatori asking him if he wanted to help us fight the thing that what gave you long legs. And he was like, "Wait, what? Ashmere? What are you? What?" And then he said he'd been captured or something was wrong or I don't know what the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's the new vocabulary of fire, which is concerning, because he was last seen with the Pyrocon. But anyway, I sent him ascending. He sounded distressed, and he'd, I guess, defected or something. But I told Caranculax about that sending and about that conversation. Whenever that works for you. Sorry, that was really long-winded. My head is absolutely... Y'all don't remember that?
I think you mentioned it before, but not fully explained it to him.
Yeah, so Soren would have...
But we'll Cranklex is fully up to date on that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
how to go with that?
Other than that, I would have sent just a handful of sendings to, like, Soren's mom. What was her name? Gwendolyn? Guinevere?
Yeah, Gwendolyn.
Apologizing for leaving Sunken Cocoon so rapidly, but... just letting her know that I'll be back in town later, but I had to leave. And... what happens if I try to cast Sending to the Alip?
You can certainly do so.
Alright, I will.
Can you make me a intelligence saving throw, please?
Yep. Sure.
Good news.
Natural 20.
Okay, you take half damage.
Ugh! Half damage?
But it's a crit success.
Okay.
Great success.
That was a good sign.
Yeah.
Cast sending and take damage.
Are you doing math? I don't like this math.
This is like trying to make a pact with the great old one.
No.
How much sand loss do you take?
Okay. You take half the damage. You take 7 points of psychic damage.
Ow.
As the howling babble of the Alep fills your mind in response to the sending. But you can say things to them if you would like.
Hi, yeah, I know. You're probably too far gone to really understand this. I deciphered Ariane rules. I know. Deciphering. Working on it.
Cycles. Find all the cycles. They will spin and spin. Cogs always turning. Self talking to self, talking to self, talking to self. Always talking to the self. Please stop.
You say? I didn't understand that. Always talking to the south or to the self?
Self.
Stop talking to the self? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Figure it out. I'm sorry.
I can tell you. I can tell you everything. Everything. Just let me in. Please. I just need to tell someone.
If you tell me you're gonna rip a hole open and know that. I have to figure it out for myself.
I don't care. I don't care. Please.
Telling you
Let me end. descending ends.
Oh god, my head.
Give me a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Did find the hole in the cycles?
Yes. Nope. Essentially, you succumb to the effects of the Whispers of Madness, which you have to use a reaction to make a melee attack against someone near you. But there's presumably no one within 5 feet of you
Alright,
when you cast this. So
I punch a wall.
you'll assume, yeah, like lash out. Blah!
Or
As the
yourself.
last tendrils of that psychic connection kind of shatter.
I will attempt to punch the wall. 1d20 minus 1.
Nat 20, sixth ship.
20 minus 1.
6! Do I even hit the wall?
I mean, you hit it,
Right.
but you
don't
just
even
don't do any. You don't like beat its AC.
I have 1. 1 damage.
So mechanically, yes, you missed the wall.
I don't know why you rolled a d4 and it's just 1.
Oh, is it 1d1?
It's 1.
It's just one, yeah, straight up.
Alright, yeah, I punch him. Or try.
It takes no damage.
You gain a level of monk.
The wall looks back at you and are kind of disappointed.
The wall looks back at you.
Again, that psychic damage will heal. Next, you always long rest.
Sure.
The sun rises and sets very rapidly as we skip forward 2 days. Before there is a cry of "High on the horizon!"
High on the horizon.
And on the horizon there is a spire growing taller and taller every hour. And it is later that day. The sun is at its peak. It is a hot day. It is sweltering. Below deck is particularly unpleasant. And the hive itself now stands quite visible before you. It is a somewhat tropical-looking island. A wide base with dense undergrowth like tropical growth, and a pale, slightly off-white towards blue spire structure climbs hundreds of feet, if not 1,000 feet up into the air. It is clearly man-made. From the distance, it looks like it's riddled with countless caves and cavern entrances. But as the ship gets to within maybe half an hour away, they don't look like caves. They look like built structures and doors and windows. Parts of the spire kind of break out into the air, and then clearly elements have sheared off. It looks like as you get closer, sort of begin rounding it, there is a second, smaller spire. And then you are kind of within its bay on the far side and approaching the harbour, and it is a huge thing. The harbour itself, there's maybe 100 feet of like gentle flat land before it hits the spire, and there are just jury-rigged shanty towns clinging to the side and rope bridges and ladders going up. There is what looks like a river that exits about halfway up the spire, and then is just a waterfall that descends down, down, and down before exiting into the harbour.
Cool.
And every now and then you swear there are people in it. Like, you see someone jump off a rope bridge into it and just go whoosh, down. and there is quite a racket. There are a number of ships in harbour. It's probably overfilled, but Captain Hector managed to massively weave the ship through the crowded harbour to a dock that no one. There is an empty space there. No one has parked up, and it is guarded by who you assume are pirates, but they are in. Many are wearing kind of breastplates and sort of heavier armor, and they are guarding this dock and looking quite mean and intimidating as they do so. The ship pulls up. Captain Hector kind of gathers the three of you. Goes, right, so here's the situation. I'm going to take you right up to the tippy top of the damn thing.
Okay.
That's where the king lives.
I'll get to the top. Is it stairs?
No, we got to use the. We're going to use the lift.
I just fly.
Or you could do that, really. I mean, it's quite spectacular the way we have, but sure, you can just fly if you want to.
I'll use the lift. It sounds cool.
Yeah, I know. I'll take the lift.
Good. Otherwise, it's a long walk.
When it's a sail, do as Essex do.
Sure,
Just saying.
but don't trust anyone. Everybody's lying. Watch your coin purses. Put that somewhere super safe, because people will try and steal from you.
Yep.
Murder, not okay.
Vigil puts
This
his coin purse in his armor.
is in theory neutral ground, but you're outsiders, so
Wait, many of them seen fireball before.
enough.
Yeah. I look wizardy, right?
Well, anyway, there are also this place technically belongs to the elves, so
Wait, the sea elves.
it's still the king's land.
The king is a sea elf.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. Good. All right. Yeah. Neat.
Marek. Yeah. Isn't he like your third cousin or something? We are distantly related, yeah. But
Who is that? Oh, Merrick.
that was Marek.
Oh.
Who? Let's go speak to the king then. And siblings, join your small group. So you can go get the chest. She nods and disappears below deck before comes up, carrying the chest. Goes over my head, and Anton. So your little party assembles. Hector yells some orders to the crew. Find a proper docking. Yada yada yada. There's a cheer as he goes. And you've earned yourself at least one day shore leave, so go nuts. There was hooray! There was a flood of sailors leaving the ship.
I will secure everything on my person.
Sure, why not? I will. Yeah. Put my coin purse in the bag of holding. And if somebody can get into my bag of holding, well.
Thorn will lash the brim to himself, like actually inside his coat.
I'll also use a disguise self to not change anything major about my appearance, but just make all the coin pouches appear in different places. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Smart.
Nice.
Very good. I like that.
Okay. So the general layout of the city, as far as you can tell, is kind of a triangular-shaped harbour flanked on two sides by kind of the feet of the spire. And again, there's that kind of 100, 200 feet. It's more like 100, 200 feet of quote-unquote flat ground that looks like it's a kind of a mix of rubble and sand that structures have been bedded down into, and sort of some kind of built on stilts and old bits of mast that have been sunken down and then shorn off to give some form of stable foundation. And that 100, sort of a good 100 meters of Shantytown. It's where all the pubs are at. It is gambling houses, pleasure houses, pubs, taverns, inns, drinking holes, dive bars, each with their own nuance and character, just filling the place, and they are all busy. Very Tortugan in its general atmosphere. There's people in revelry, and there are a number of large signs and graffitis on the walls that all share a common message of back in business. People are having a good time, and it looks like there has been a clear recent influx of cash into the local economy because people are spending and spending. Enzo, you don't need to make checks to find a drug dealer here.
To make checks to avoid them.
Exactly. You are led through what is the closest thing to a main street, which is more, it's just an area they made sure to keep clear so people can actually get to the spire. Buildings stacked up high and leaning over, half of them built out of old bits of ship. And you don't actually start climbing the outside of the spire so much as enter through what is a large and once beautiful and elegant doorway that was clearly forced open, and large wooden wedges are rammed under it to keep it open. And it enters this corridor, lit and filled with smoke from torches. Although after about 60 feet in, the corridor becomes lit by the blue crystals of the sea elves, which even the pirates worked out how to use. Because, you just dunk them in water and they glow, innit? You are led by the captain. There are a couple of essentially checkpoints that you are taken through that you suspect might have given more resistance if you weren't here on very specific business. The first guarded by kind of mundane sailors and pirates. The second, however, is guarded by, a pair of sea elven warriors.
Straight up sea
And they are
elves.
both in elven chain.
Shit.
One has kind of a pale coral pink hair, and one has a sort of a deeper ocean green. As they see Marek and Visaya approach, they nod, step to the side. One barks a command word in the old Sea Elven dialect of Elven, and a suit of plate armor seems to ascend from below at what looks like this shaft, climbs up and down, and you realize is inside a column of still water. Before the armor flows out, and there is now the constant sound of splashing water as the water from the column fills the armor in a vaguely humanoid form, and a myrmidon steps free.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. We should
I thought we were all dead. What the fuck?
get these guys to
Soren's
repair
actually-
what's under Raccoon.
Yeah.
Soren's actually staring at the sea elves, like, just fascinated.
At some point on the way up, I would have asked, like, not that this isn't really cool, but have you heard about, like, gravity and how building outwards is easier than building up?
Yeah, well, not a lot of land to build on, that's the issue. It's, yeah, the harbor's deep. Real deep.
So,
Cleared some trees back? I don't know.
Oh no, the
we
people
see-
living there, really, and it's where, well, food. Fruit trees mostly.
Do we see other examples of seals before we get to the point where they would easily know I'm going to start talking about them? Because I've got questions.
You maybe saw one or two in town.
Okay.
Um,
I will raise the point of then. I thought all the sea elves were dead.
Marek will look at you with some offense on his face and be like, I'm standing right here.
Well, no, that's not what he means.
No, genuinely.
We,
This wasn't a a slight.
Oh,
Genuinely, I
but
was led to
we're all
believe.
told that you're.
Versailles. No, we know. Well, there's not many of us left, and it's easier this way. King's policy.
Right.
She kind of nods in thanks. Yeah, the Myrmidon asks, to which level shall I ascend? Right to the top. Wait, I forgot the number. 98. 98! Please, step into the water. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. It'll carry you right up to the top.
We can't breathe.
That's a good point. We're very used to holding our breath.
Right, water breathing.
Thank you.
It's original.
Thank you
Takes
very
10
much.
minutes. All right, we're good for today.
Oh, we have to wait 10? Or do they have their own water breathing? Surely they got visitors that can't
One of the
breathe.
guards goes, chew on these for a short while. And offers what looks like bits of swollen seaweed, kind of
Sure.
these rubbery little balls. As you throw them in your mouth, they kind of really fill your mouth, but as you chew on them, they kind of seem to squeeze air into your throat.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
They're like little air pockets. You can just hump them.
Weird. I'll take it.
It's a good workout for the jaw. And they essentially allow you to survive an extended period underwater with air.
Me and my Zero Con mod cannot hold our breath for very long.
Yeah. The Myrmidon retreats into the water. With runes of water magic, it activates the shaft, and the water begins to move upwards. And you feel yourselves carried at quite a speed towards the peak of the hive. You pass a number of levels very quickly that are all well lit before the rest of the journey is somewhat dark. Before it suddenly slows down and alights as you reach your destination. Captain Hector is the first to leave with Marek and Visser on either side. The two other guards have stayed at the bottom. There's one more guard up here. And yeah, Visser's lugging the chest. The room beyond here is vast. You suspect it's taking up the whole top of the spine. You could see it from below. There was this kind of domed pinnacle. It has no windows. Its edge of the circular room is just arches all around that are open to the air. There's kind of a one balcony that encircles the whole thing. Directly opposite is a throne that doesn't look so much carved from coral as grown. It's actually quite similar to a throne you've seen before at the very depths of the sea where you encountered the Sahuagin monarch, who also sat in this kind of coral throne. Sat in the throne is another sea elf of rich blue-green hair, beard, and a crown of coral thorns. And I think we will go for break.
Nice.
as
Wow.
the figure stands.
Shit.
Hmm.
All right. We'll be back and soon. See you then.
Perfect. See you after the break.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're back. Whoa, please. There we go. Hey guys, we're back. Hello. Hopefully I unmuted myself. Yes, I did. So hello. We're back from break. Just about to go see the Nowhere King, King of Nowhere. Who's
To
a
the
seal.
soothing tunes of Outlaw Harbor Sea. One of my
Yeah.
favorite Battle for Azeroth tracks.
Yeah. So,
So, as you enter, the room holds half a dozen figures, all with the various sea and coal hewn hairs and builds of the aquatic elves. They are in great finery, similar to those that you found in the Sea Elven ruins you've delved into before. Impossibly fine chains that move like water across the bodies as they shift and talk, all coming to attention as you enter. The king himself stands tall, equivalent in height to Vigil, maybe a hair taller. His hair from his head, not with the horns, no. He's not taller than the horns. The hair on his head is this deep blue-green, seeming to change in hue throughout. Having an appearance of always being kind of... It just looks like it's been dampened by the sea. And it falls down to his waist, down his back. A beard on his face, uncommon for an elf, but not impossible, has been kind of kept, well, very well groomed. There is a kind of a shell decorative eye patch that he is wearing. And his clothes are a mix of the elven garb that you can see, which are all very sort of long curves and finery and regalia, and what you'd imagine of more of a corsair's look. He has what looks like an elven blade on one hip, whilst the other is a hatchet of some description. And he's this... It's a look that you don't think many would be able to pull off. Pull off this mix of kind of seedy pirate king and ancient elven monarch. But it works. He got that swagger. As you enter, he comes to his feet in one fluid motion. Throws his arms wide as one of the one elf guard steps forward, turns to you all and goes, "Please, bow. You are in the presence of the King of Nowhere, Baron of Backwater, Master of the Middle Ground, Count of the Commonplaces, and Earl of the Unexceptional. Show your respect."
I will.
The king
Yeah.
grins widely, unexpectedly.
Will bow in the oldest elven fashion that I'm aware of.
Give me a history check. With charisma instead of intelligence.
Charisma?
Charisma
D&D.
history. The
D&D is an-
crossover no one ever saw coming.
Oh, come
D&D is
on,
an
Owen,
amazing
please.
game where you get to roll charisma history checks to bow properly.
23 history,
Hey,
that's with my...
I've GM'd Legends of
that's-
the Five Rings. Bowing properly or improperly can get you killed in that game.
I think it's
so.
a 20.
Uh,
It's proficiency plus charisma, so that'll be
yeah,
5 plus 2, and I rolled a 13.
13.
So,
So a
it's 20.
total of 20. Yeah, no, you bow. It's the right era of Elven history. It might not be the right century or decade, but it's enough that you presume he'd recognize it.
Vigil chest bump bow. That's
Okay.
it.
Enzo would have asked before meeting the king what the proper... Is there a,
Okay.
a bow or a...
Kind of a leg back, arm across the chest.
And also how to address the king properly.
Captain Hector would have said, "Majesty will do, probably. I mean, he's can be fickle.
That's why I asked.
It's like the ocean currents. No matter which way he goes strongly.
Yeah, I'd fuck with a regular king, but I'm not gonna fuck with a pirate king. So yeah, I'll do exactly as was said to me.
Yeah, Hagler would have explained that he's in a kind of the king is in a strange position where he's kind of the most respected person among them, but also the least respected, in that he doesn't actually hold any authority, and it's kind of a joke that he's referred to as the king, but also he's in charge of the sea elves, and the sea elves can do sea magic, and they live on a giant spire in the middle of the ocean. So,
I mean, with titles like the King of Nowhere and the Baron of Backwater, I feel like he's kind of in on the joke.
yeah. So as he grins wildly, you all bow. He bows back in return, both arms out, with a flourish. Greetings. Welcome to my court, saviors of the dead, I believe. Please come forward. We have no time for such, frivolities. A couple of the other sort of sea elves in the room look a little bit put out. He goes, guests, saviors, honored folk. No need to bow before me and all my majesty. Your names,
Sure.
please.
Enzo.
Vigil.
Singular, like sure, I like it.
Arcanus, Soren, Oshmere, Thayer, Jeffrey.
Very good. I am Lathalas Undersea, King of Nowhere.
Lathalas Undersea?
You have my undivided attention.
Ah, we heard you wanted to meet the people that seized the Wailing Seas, and here we are.
How'd you do it?
Trade secret.
Well, how can I know it's true? I mean, you could be any three folks who've dressed up just right.
I just looked at both.
The horns were very hard to imitate. I had to get some very good rocks. Vigil says deadpan.
We went to an undersea library by the Rift of Hadron. A place that your people once inhabited, I think, although you'd have to speak to Arcanist Soren here. I don't fully understand it or speak the language.
The
And I'm
courtiers
sure...
kind of raise hands in curiosity, but they're clearly muttering to each other, sort of just hiding their mouths and doing what courtiers do in court and gossip.
And I'm sure that Arcanist Soren Ashmere would be able to provide you with details that hells no one else on the planet knows right now. No one in the world. Details of the ancient library, the rift.
I wanted to talk with you. Well, formalities almost done. I must first offer you salt and bread, as is custom. Then you know I offer you house and hospitality, as the old ways hold. And then the other courtiers, kind of in Elven, say, as the old ways hold.
Did they actually bring out salt and bread, or is it metaphorical?
The guard that kind of introduced you to the court goes off to the side and comes over with a platter where there is a bowl of sea salt and bread. Kind of you can tell there's a ritual to this as he pulls the bread apart, sprinkling salt upon it and then offering it to each of you and offering the final piece to the king, who strides up.
I will wait for him. Or is that what's the
Yeah, he waits.
ritual here?
He'll pick it up. He'll kind of offer it in front of you to inspect and be like, "Hey, look, it's not poisoned."
Right.
Oh,
Right.
and then he will bite it.
Sure.
I'll do it too, as is customary.
I'll partake. Yeah.
Well, it's finest of elven bread. Very filling. And the salt adds, well, it's a bit like having solid caramel and a nice tasty chocolate bar. It's just adds
Limbus
a
bread.
nice
Wow,
little
that's pretty good.
pretty much, yeah. Kind of looks behind you to see Marek, Visaya, and Captain Hector. Who is, Hector! We have the goods. I do, Captain. King. Sorry, sir. Majesty. Yep. Got the chest. These are on the ship. Quite fortuitous, really. Visaya nods. Visaya walks up, puts the chest down, and courtesies, which just looks wrong on her. There you are, Your Majesty. Your finest of illicit money and goods. Gives him a smile that is clearly sarcastic, and then takes a step back. Messiah, you're as charming as ever. You'll have to let me know the next time you're stopping in port for more than a few hours. Anyway. Thank you for one, coming, and two, helping safeguard my, well, bribe. You were saying. Actually, the rest of you vultures, get out of here. Private business. I'll tell you what you need to know afterwards. One of you gossiping and telling the whole city about what transpired, will I? One of them goes to say something. Goes, I will draw the hatchet. You don't want me to draw the hatchet, do you? Good. I'm only kidding. I wouldn't take anything, you know. It's not how I flow. Get out of here. The court is continue their grumbling before they file out of the room.
This king has big chaotic energy.
I like him.
So,
I mean, if you want to be sure we're not being spied on, I sort of just like look at Soren.
I'll pull out the lantern.
you know what? Let's go on one of the balconies.
Oh, okay.
Not to eavesdrop over the howling winds that could pluck you off at any moment and send you howling to your death.
Right.
Smiles wide. It's fine. I know Featherfall.
We go
I
up
mean-
the
Wrong.
carpet.
I'm used to sweeping people off their feet, but I'm not quite sure what a broom's going to do with it. This way. He leads you not to one of the balconies around, but through an arch at the back of the room that actually, as you pass, it's a short, sort of 10, 15 foot long corridor. There is a spiral staircase just off that corridor, and then it exits into what looks like kind of like a garden veranda. So it's this large balcony, maybe 20 feet wide, extends about 15, 20 feet out over the edge, and you see the most beautiful view of the sea. It is just to the horizon. You can see you are looking east, so you can see the sun, which is it's approaching the horizon. The sky beginning to turn golden orange. The sea kind of
Is it east?
yes. So the sun's setting behind.
Sun sets in the east?
It's setting behind you
Oh, okay.
in the west.
Okay.
But you can see kind of there's the shadow of the spire
Makes
on
sense.
top of the ocean, where around it the ocean's kind of beginning to turn into liquid gold in the sunlight. And on the in the distance, you can see there is another island somewhere at sea that you can kind of see its vague shape, and the distant storms to the north and south that look like they kind of close in before the horizon becomes a distant and defined below. Pinpricks of distant lightning flash every now and then. This garden itself has a number of water features that defy gravity, fountains that kind of just straight flow up into the ceiling, and numerous exotic fruit trees, plants, and vines covering every surface. On the edge, there is a lounge area over a fire pit that look like comfortable lounges and armchairs and such, looking over the view. And you are high up. It is. Whew. If anyone has vertigo, do not look over the balcony, because the way it's built out, the spire is kind of practically vertical for like the 10 floors at the top. So you are a good few hundred feet above where you'd hit, and then it's a very long, steep slope of ruins. All the way down to the bottom. And you can see actually with the sun setting in the east, the town below is already beginning to be pinpricks of lantern light in the spire's shadow.
As we step into the, where as like we come to a stop and it looks like we're gonna start talking wherever we are, I like hold up a finger. I'm like, if I may, just 1 second. And I'm going to, more as a show to the king, not that I think it's actually happening, but to show off a little bit, I'm going to use ghostly gaze and look around to make sure there's no one spying, nothing in the wall,
Okay.
For a full, 15 seconds.
The balcony is safe.
Okay, I believe we are free from prying eyes.
Slightly disconcerting when you look down and see, there's the floor and there is the void beneath us. Yeah.
Or we'll set the lantern down anyway.
Okay. Yeah, there is. The only thing your lantern picks up is it reveals a shimmering wall of force over the arched kind of windows out of the balcony.
Nice.
And you do notice the wind isn't anywhere near as bad as he said it would be. It seems like they have some form of shielding from the elements. He throws himself into a lounger, kind of naturally falls into a, paint me like one of your French girls, kind of pose, kind of just leaning up on the seat, his hair kind of spooling around him. Looks to Visaya, kind of clicks his fingers and points. She comes in with the chest, plonks it in the middle of the room, puts his feet up on it, changes to sit back and goes, "So, feel free to take a seat, Visaya, Marek. I mean, sure. Family, after all." They both sigh and take seats as on the opposite side of the room from him. "So, please tell me your tale. I'm all ears."
You want it from the beginning or just part of it?
I don't know, how exciting is it?
Pretty exciting.
Do you want that?
You want drinks, maybe? Food?
Yes, please.
I know the bread's quite filling, but I'm gonna guess you like it, pointing at you, Vigil. Surprisingly spicy. You're a man who looks for a kick, I presume.
This is true.
You want something homely? I'm gonna guess. Alright. And you're a mystery to me. Pointing at you, Enzo.
I want to try
You're
some eggs.
a wine man, or just something that threatens your health?
I'll have some coffee if you have it.
Expensive stuff, but I'm sure I can rustle up a cup. Oh, and any drugs?
Maybe afterwards.
Alright then.
No.
Life is weird enough.
Are you
already.
sure? Got some premium marching powder stocked away somewhere. Here, your kin and kith were quite the fan back in the day.
No. No. Thank you.
Research your map.
I recognize someone who fought for Cabal when I see one.
They're pretty visually distinctive, yes.
I was in the posture. You all stand, or stood rather, like someone had shoved an iron rod up your ass. And then clicked the immovable button.
I make sure to laugh at that joke.
Sword
Believe
actually
it or
does laugh.
Believe it or not, I've heard that before.
Well, so I keep on interrupting myself. I'm sorry. Please, take it away.
Shall I?
He
I look at Soren.
waves a hand. Visaya just nods and turns to go get drinks and things.
Shall I start off the story, Soren? And when I get to the more, I suppose, arcane parts, I'll pass to you.
You can trade. Fine. Start from the very beginning or back on the boat with this sort of partner because we did come across the elven town.
See, the problem is now Anton is struggling to remember the story. How did we find out where the Hydrocon was?
Arnella tried on her
Have you scryed on Sarnella? Okay, that's right. That makes sense.
ages ago. What feels like ages ago. Three of us now. Met on a ship called the Tassa, named after Walter Eidolon. The captain of Sfar del Mio had a daughter named Saranella.
Danmio was still kicking around, eh?
Well, and his daughter. But you know him, you know his daughter, and you know she's a child of the sea.
Well, fair enough. I've not seen him in some time, but glad to know things worked out, I hope.
So, we were shipwrecked on an island. A sea elven temple at the heart of it. 3 spirits there were trapped. Whatever happened, there was a fiend chained in the middle, looting the whole. Batch the fiend, and the spirits on their. And Saranella in this whole journey was captured by the Sahagwin. There's a lot that happened in between there and came to set the seas to right. Bore you with it, as it would take me hours to tell, frankly. So we kept track of Saranella. We couldn't pursue her. The Sahagwin had. The more I spoke to her, the more we figured out that water lexicon, which had gone missing, was in her possession, and as it's called. Holy crap! What's the word? Vocabulary. Her series of scrying, magical means, and intelligence means. Found out that they were holding her at the bottom of the Sea Elven Acropolis by the library outside of.
City of the Dead.
I am. The spirits
It's been
there.
a long time since anyone went to Hag Home.
Hong Kong.
Hag Home, I call it.
Oh, okay.
City of the Crones.
Yes.
Old ladies and death. Can't imagine anywhere less fun myself, but
I think we met some of those dead.
oh, that I'm well aware of.
What do you mean by that? Have you felt ramifications of that here?
How to say? I hold the position I have because, well, I have a special connection to the seas, you understand? Less a priest, more in tune with the proper ways of things, you understand? And, well, it's a spiritual thing. The kind of thing the most scum and villainy here don't really seem to understand or care for much, but what they care about is that I can shatter a ship with nothing but a look, and they can't. So they let me keep my palace and valuables and keep my people quiet. But it means that I feel things when the seas change.
Did it work?
Well, my dreams were filled with the sobbing, thankful dead for several nights as they passed on beyond. So you owe me about a week of rest and a great deal of thanks. I managed to glean descriptions of you from what sentience they had left. And now you're here.
What do the seas tell you now, Your Majesty? Did they tell you where the Hydrocon ended up?
Well, I had a feeling it was in a coon. Too many currents pulling that way now. But
Your Majesty, may I ask you something strange?
go ahead.
Do you remember anybody named Pona?
Pona.
The name of the sea elven. Actually, I will just pull out the divine folk that I've been carrying since episode 2. He was different. Three spirits there. A woman trapped there. They took one of the cabin boys and made him into some sort of water spirit.
Oh, my. That's crones for you, I told you. Old women, don't trust them.
Why?
But, I don't know the name, no. I can check in with some gaggle as you saw outside, but
Why would somebody chain a fiend? The elven.
curious you should say. We can consider ourselves friends, eh?
Of course.
You've already done me such a great service, and Visaya comes back with the drinks at this point. Vigil is essentially some form of like very dark gold rum that is reckoned you could take a kick, and it is whew. One, it's strong, and two, it's very like it's spiced rum, but with a capital spice.
Nice. Is it save worthy or is it just really good?
I'd say one unit of it, and
Oh, that's what.
you're fine. Soren,
Yes.
a bottle of Tessic ale is brought for you.
Oh. Great.
The label's somewhat worn. And you remember that being Tessic, you recognize the label, and it's, oh, that's from a brewery got shut down for breaking all of the laws about how strong they can make their beer and certain production methods. It was essentially a black market brewery that got closed down quite a while ago. So the fact he's kept a hold of bottles that seem drinkable is
Impressive.
yeah. Enzo. He brings you,
Bottle
or
of
you're brought
Kahlua.
rather. It is a somewhat
For loco.
thick, looking honey-colored
LaCroix.
drink. Yeah, looks like some form of honeyed wine.
I asked for coffee, but
Oh, you did? Sorry, I had the exotic thing stuck in my head. You are brought coffee.
okay. I thought it was a honey coffee.
My bad. No. Sure, there's a little bit of honeycomb on the side.
That's how they do it here in the honeycomb isles.
Thing I forgot. Sorry. In between the island and rescuing Sarnella and like we disrupted a Sahaguan ritual beneath. They were using the temple there. Sort of, I show him the drawing that I've made of the Armley thing that was ritual. This thing, there were also a whole bunch of sea elven spirits there as well that I. But we disrupted a ritual in the Cocoon that's got the casket for the lexicon. Once we descended into the necropolis, we were faced with, frankly, a force we couldn't fight alone. We got Sarnella, got the lexicon. We just happened to have a scroll of teleport on us. Please don't ask how we. I mean, now that I've said that, you will ask, but sorry.
How did you come by it?
We were given it.
Fair enough.
And through some divine grace, I managed to figure it out enough to get us back to some. I hadn't.
So the Aconites have it then?
Well, sort of its own thing. Have you ever encountered a lexicon?
No.
Did he nod while he was saying no?
No. No. He nodded in acknowledgement of your statement, and then
They're
no.
They're sentient. Primordial building blocks of our world have been here since the beginning. Personalities and memories. Pick people to represent them. Not to be guided, yes. Observed.
Well, it's a good thing that, interesting. Well, I can't exactly be having a coon have control over the seas on me, but,
Yeah, you have to understand, having had some experience with the fire lexicon and what happens when it is uncontrolled, you may remember a dark period of about a month.
Either crone, you're not. Fucking hell.
We're responsible for
Having seen, I don't say we're responsible for that, but
You
we
get around
saw
a bit,
it.
don't you?
Sorry, what?
Just a
You
bit.
get around a bit, don't you?
Oh, sir. Well, Your Majesty, yes.
So,
Yeah.
having
Something
experienced
to be
that,
responsible for every bloody thing in the world.
we decided to just keep the Hydrocon in a safe, stable place,
Ablin.
protected by one of the richest cities in the world.
You can call a coon that for sure. More money than sense, a lot of them. That's why they keep paying me. Oh. If the Hydrocon, that might change. But, well. I think we're in a stronger point of negotiation. Anyway, politics aside, thank you for telling me. And thank you for the service you've done. It's, I can't thank you enough.
And thank you. I should hope to believe that we can consider each other friends, especially given us how when we encountered your ship out on the open waters, and they attacked us, we nevertheless came to an amicable agreement.
Looks
Light
at
it on fire.
the captain, who's kind of been standing at the back of the room, just, just out of earshot, being polite. Oh! They're saying you attacked him on sight! Your Majesty, it was, a display of show, you understand. Merrick, you fired lightning bolts off the port bow just to scare them, make sure they wouldn't run away, you understand. We didn't know they were the ship that we were looking for. I mean, fair enough, that is standard practice. Sorry.
Nobody was hurt. Well, not permanently. I fixed it.
Anyone hurt? One man, but you got better.
Killed him.
Getting better.
I dove into the sea to rescue him from drowning.
Well, there you are. Heroes, all three of you. You mentioned the
We'll get on
temple.
Spies murmur. Just a thought. Are we angling this now so we can get towards the calamity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a minute. Temple, yeah. One.
Oh, of course, he found everyone. The first, far to the west. You said you found it corrupted by a demon of some kind, a fiend.
Yeah, we killed it. They managed to pick one of a boy had mother sorcerers. Your people actually, I think. Elven boy, Griff. Delmioa took him on after their. He's a ocean spirit now. I don't.
How old was he? About, what, 10, 11?
Yeah, just about everything.
Yeah, mother died about, well, 10, 11 years ago. Well, no, not quite. 9, 10.
Didn't really.
That's Dalmioa, you say?
The other boy.
I knew his mother. Knew she'd, well, become a child. Yeah, no, she, went out on a raid and never came back. Assumed her and the boy had died.
Still around. The spirits have changed. Gave him a gift of true water.
Did he survive?
In a manner of speaking, transformed over.
He, like this, casts in the runes of water and a water elemental, kind of steps from one of the fountains.
Yeah,
And just kind of stands there. Oh. The fate of meddling with magics too early or with the wrong blood. Well, you might be able to summon him still, but the boy's lost you. I'm sorry. He'll be well, elemental now.
seem upset by it.
Well, there's a piece to it all, I suppose. Knowing what you are, no more questions.
Good.
The boy is water, and water is the boy. Shame, though. As you might be able to tell, we are few of number. Every loss is felt. But the temple. The temple of the temple, the temple. The fiend you spoke of, I'm going to describe a creature and you're going to tell me if it's the very same. Now, I'm thinking a creature that's serpent-like in form. Maybe about 12 to 15 feet long. Almost catfish-like hair and a muzzle.
Real.
Yeah. Slimy-looking thing. Shoots water at high speeds and temperatures.
Brilliantly coloured.
Aye.
Yeah.
All the colours of the sea.
Yeah.
Wastrelith.
Lilith? What? Doing there?
Well, I don't know. We think it was the Sahuagin. It makes sense.
The spirits there said that, and actually some spirits that I talked to, the various temples, that their goddesses had taken them. And
I don't know. The people fell a long time ago. I think my grandmother was alive during the time, but even then she was only a child, and well, not many stories got passed down. Again, not a lot of us left. But if I understand the waters right, you corrupt the water. And gods don't much like being corrupted.
They meant to kill whatever Eidolon was.
But I felt it when you cleared it, you see. Waters here felt that much more cleaner. Where is it you're heading? Where was it you were sailing? I can't imagine you were sailing here to meet little old me when you didn't know I existed.
Lorak.
Oh, I think he's still here. Let me guess. Going to the Calamity, right? He says jokingly.
Among other things.
Ah, fuck, you're being serious, aren't you? Of course you are. You bloody kill the sun for a month. Managed to unkill the ocean. Now you're gonna...
We have,
Alright, you're not allowed anywhere near the rift, I'm just saying. If you kill my only source of income,
No, we left that.
good.
Been there, done that.
I got a chokehold on trade in this entire continent right now. I'd quite like it to stay that way.
Run by. So you're right. They're fine. They were.
Right, well, you know what, that just gets better and better. Although... Anyway. I have a proposition for you. I'm sure you were expecting it. I'm not gonna let you simply sail through my straits for free. You understand, I have people to support.
when we heard you'd blocked travel through here and invited us to speak to you, yeah, we had some suspicions.
Well, I have a question first, completely unrelated. Kaval, Hakun, everyone else on the coast. War, do you think it's coming or not? Sorry for
Yes.
the personal question. Right, well, good to know my hunch was correct then.
Maybe.
Well, fair.
What is
Gotta
coming?
keep-
What makes Aaron?
Sorry?
War makes ever increasing progress.
What is coming,
Will
but many
only
are
do
trying
so
to
with
stop it.
frequency.
Yeah.
What he said.
Well, do let them know that if they fail, it's not the end of the world. At least we'll be able to make a tidy profit.
Have you had problems with the dead here, other than your?
No, I mean the ruins down below under the water is, well, you don't go down there. But no, not I can say. Oh, when someone dies here, taking a day's sail out at sea and, well, sleep with the fishes. Keeps the wildlife fed.
I'm just Tour goes badly. You may have more.
I'll bear that in mind. Coming from you three, I suspect that holds quite a lot of weight to it at this point.
Interconnected with the spirits of this. Right to know.
Go on.
Would you describe it as some form of mood killer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It can wait till late.
Right.
I don't discuss
Crash my
bad
vibe,
news until
bruh.
the sun comes down.
That's fair.
And we're about an hour off sunset yet.
What do you want us to do? Said you had a proposition.
There's a temple. It is about, well, far side of the storms. On a small island one of the last to pass before you break out into open ocean again. It has been likewise corrupted for some time. Let's be honest, pirates are many things, but skilled and experienced dungeon delvers they are not. Attempts to plunder the place have all failed, and they have described fiends such as the one of you seen, locked within its depths. Those that survive. The island has a reputation for being cursed. As you can imagine, most of the land there don't come back. Oh yeah, you see it. You sail past that island with the captain back there. You leave it a better place. I give him permission to continue his voyage.
Realize it won't matter.
Well, you'll be dead, so.
Yeah.
Which would be a shame, I have to say. I do quite like the three of you. You each offer something different to a conversation. You, words. You, silence. Or at least, you use your words sparingly, which is a... Well,
It's a gift and a curse according to varying people.
exactly. Whereas you're the shady one of the bunch, aren't you?
Sure.
Well, that's my simple ask. You've cleared one temple, clear me another.
May I ask why?
I feel so much better now the first one's gone. And to clear out the dead, and boy, hell of a high.
So there's more dead souls there.
I know there's dead souls, but the water's wrong. Sick. The ocean's been sick for some time.
A fiend at the first one, dead souls at the third, the second had, I guess.
Dead sea elves and a lot of sahag.
Well, I think this is not quite on the scale of the casket that you found. Smaller scale. And I'd expect fiends.
So we clear your temple out, you let us back, is that?
I'll speak to the captain, make the arrangements so.
As in, you're sending us there.
Well, you have a choice. It's not my business to be taking that choice away, and the captain has a choice to ignore me, but, can't ignore the consequences. Every wave that builds needs to crash eventually, so. Have you ever been surfing?
Child.
No.
I
No.
should take you surfing. Amazingly good fun when you can control the wave yourself. They call it cheating, but, well, what can I say? We had a call then. You don't need to agree, or you can say yes and lie, I don't care. But just know you'll be doing the right thing to do, as you say. No, I'll be up
I see
front.
no reason why not.
Well, if you need more motivation, I should offer you a more, well, concrete thank you than the ones I've given, eh? There should be about 30,000 gold pieces in that chest.
Is it the one that he was given from Akun?
How much of a cat are you asking for?
I like to answer.
Yeah, of course you do. For the temple, and you will, I assume, as part of this arrangement, afterwards convey us to Larak on one of your ships.
Of course. Good captain there's to take you to the island, and then should you succeed, and he is vetted, the work is worked well done, he can take you on to the east. Free of charge. The man has history there, so you'll be in a good position.
Here's the deal. I will start negotiations at 7,000 for each of us, for 21 total.
Oh, well, that's not leaving a lot left for little old me.
However,
We've got a whole palace to pay for.
I will substantially decrease my own take, perhaps by half even, if you agree to another side venture, which is some business with an organization of mine, the Peacocks out of Akun. I can put you in contact with what's Soraya's title again? Director? With Director Soraya.
Is it true then? Peacocks have spread their feathers even further along the coast, eh?
Something like that.
What are you? Member of the organization?
I will, I guess, show the pin I have.
Well, I was wondering how long it would take him.
This long.
You get 1,000 gold, and I'm willing to open negotiations with your kind.
Wait, is he saying I only get 1,000 or I pay 1,000 for that service?
You would only get 1,000.
I'd only get 1,000. But he's okay with the others getting 7?
The others
Perfect.
I need to discuss. 7,000 is quite the cut.
It was my initial offer.
Of course. 3,000 each.
On the earpiece,
Reasonable.
I just say negotiate to 5. He doesn't either.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. 6.
3.5.
I have
5-8.
5,000 for both of them. I will go my.
What would it be you're looking to exchange for?
Looking for someone in gold. If you want to give me gold, fine, I'll take it.
Oh, no, if I can get away with not giving you anything, I'll take it.
That Varkin is still silent. Proper wizards.
No, not really. No many wizards like to live on an island of pirates that are likely to steal their book even if they can't read it. And the seawater's bad for the spellbook pages.
Get the magic.
But I accept your offer. I can offer you no money and help finding a person. I'm very good with people.
So then our deal is 10,000 Soren's favor and my contract with you and the Peacocks. Agreed?
9,000 split between the two of you.
9.5. And it's a deal. Listen, getting stabbed hurts and healing potions cost money.
You're wrong there. Looks around. Versailles just looks unimpressed with the whole situation.
Gosh, she does. That's why she's my favourite.
9,000 and all. Let you each take a hat from my hat collection.
I immediately say deal.
Alright.
He grins widely. No one can say no to a pirate hat.
If I can't make 500 gold with the story that I'm using a hat of the King of Nowhere, then I don't know. I deserve to lose all the jobs I have, I guess.
Well, we can sort that out later in the evening. I don't like giving away clothes in the daytime. But,
Alright.
grins wildly.
All right.
Versailles looks even more unimpressed and just goes, "Ugh."
It's very good.
9 grand.
Well then. Let's pay you off. Steps up, stretches, takes a
Just
slug
gonna
of
be
his
empty.
drink.
Just gonna be empty.
He goes down. Captain goes, "Ah, Majesty!" Throws him the key. Catches the key. Goes, "Thank you." Well,
It's just a note that says "fuck you."
time to reveal what a life, the scum, villainy, and piracy on the high seas and exploitation shows you.
Hang on. Just,
He opens
You know-
the chest.
I'd like to point out I used Ghostly Gaze earlier.
did.
He did. That is a good point. What? Can you bring up Ghostly Gaze in the chat? 'Cause I just want to know.
Yeah. What's it called?
This isn't so
There's
much a
no limits.
spoiler. There's something up with the chest. Of course there is. But,
Here, I'll copy paste the whole thing. See through
I'm
solid
not-
objects to a range of 30 feet. With that range, you have dark vision if you don't already. You perceive objects as ghostly, transparent images.
interesting. So there is nothing that blocks it.
Technically, yeah. I mean, if you want to
Oh.
say lead blocks it, then that's fine. That's how everything else works.
I was assuming lead would block it, and it is a lead line chest.
Oh, fair
Um,
enough.
So you would have seen. I'm going to go with that just because it feels
Narratively more cool.
like way and in line with the rest of kind of D&D's design.
Yeah, no, that's totally
Design
fair.
methods.
It's totally fair.
Also, the idea of X-ray vision and it being blocked by lead is just amusing.
Mhm.
So yeah, you would have known that the chest is lead lined, as you would imagine a high value chest like this would be to stop wizards and spellcasters
That-
from fucking with it.
Makes sense, especially because lead isn't even expensive. It's just a little heavy.
I'm going to need all of you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Fireball.
Digital-
As there is a sudden and roaring detonation of fire.
I'm guessing Vigil's close enough to all of us.
I would say yes. You were probably all sat together.
May I instead cast Misty Step as a reaction?
Is that something you can do?
It's a bonus action, but it might be too
I'm gonna go with no, unfortunately.
Alright, then shield done, but not that
That-
helps with
well-
fireball.
Yeah, don't you have absorb element somehow?
I have Rod of the Storm Exchanger, which does lightning, I think?
I think it lets you absorb elements and then turn the absorbed energy into lightning. if I remember. Anyway, I'm rolling dex. Technically, oh, that's a natural one.
16. If I have absorb elements on the rod,
I will definitely use
but I
absorb
think it
elements.
only does
Well, did he say it's a fireball, or are we all assuming?
He hasn't said anything yet. There's a detonation.
Yeah.
Rod of the Storm Exchanger. I can cast the. Oh, is a unique alteration. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it uses absorb elements, so third level version of that.
Okay. So you're casting absorb elements. Enzo, you do fail. Vigil, you succeed and take half damage.
Yep. And then half again if it's fire.
So the delayed blast fireball
Oh God!
Ooh, nice.
explodes,
Okay.
having been essentially
Oh wait.
locked into the chest at its highest value.
Soren had advantage, but it doesn't matter. You still got a 13.
I got a 16 because of Vigil.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, actually, I get advantage actually. Hold on.
And I
Because
do.
Barbarian.
I have the spell.
but you're not a. Well, you can see.
I think the barbarian's danger
So either
sense
way.
would apply. Soren gets advantage from the mantle, right?
Yeah. Don't you have
Okay.
fire resistance from something,
20
Rune,
then.
or am I crazy? I guess you have fire resistance from absorb anyway.
Functionally.
Okay, so Vigil
It was from the
succeeds.
card before.
Soren, you succeed, and both of you have resistance. Enzo, you fail, take the full damage, but have resistance.
Okay. About the king.
Yeah.
Incinerator in front of our eyes.
I have diamonds.
So,
To ash.
Oh, what fucking nice!
This can't kill us.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
Holy shit. Jesus.
Damn, that's a lot.
yeah, the spell
I think
explodes.
19 fire damage. That's it.
That is the ridiculous nature of
Deflex.
passing a saving throw and having resistance. As I'm imagining you're like throwing yourself over the back of the sofa as it just
Yeah.
and turns everything it touches to ash. I'm going to need to make a save for the king.
For the king. He gets a vigil bonus. He gets a +3.
That's
Okay.
half of 77.
38.
Okay, I am. Just took
Oh,
massive damage.
the king succeeds in the saving
So-
throw.
4 minus 38, you said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just took massive damage. Down the 6.
Okay, can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Massive damage over half of your HP.
Plus 3 is 8.
Yes, half of your max HP. Okay, we'll come back to that. Is Visaya getting your bonus, Vigil? American
Yeah, we're
Visaya.
not enemies.
Okay. So
Yeah. We're not enemies.
Visaya succeeds. Merrick succeeds, so they're both taking half. Visaya does know absorb elements and will cast it.
Rune, did
Merit.
you fail your save?
Oh, I failed my con save. For
No,
my
your deck
thing.
save. You didn't, or you did fail?
I got a 16.
Did a
deck
16
save,
fail?
And I've cast absorb elements, so I took half.
The 16 succeeded.
Oh, 16 succeeded. Okay, never mind. So then, the Rune, you take half of half, because you succeeded and you...
Do I?
Yeah, you take 19 instead.
Yeah, the DC was 15.
Okay. And I took half of that because of absorb elements.
Yeah, you add 19 HP, basically.
Delightful.
No longer massive damage. Yay.
Actually, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. captain, out of earshot, is thankfully out of range. Merrick is flung into a wall, badly burnt. Visaya kind of leaps to her feet, curling up into a ball kind of in midair as water kind of forms a bubble around her as she absorbs the elements. Slams into the ground, being thrown about 10 feet, with fire kind of lacing its way up her weapons as she holds it, and then immediately leaps to her feet, scanning for any additional threat. The three of you are all hit, though thankfully with your resistances and magics, managed to dull the brunt of the blow. And the king is thrown backwards towards the lip of the balcony, where he looks like he's going to go flying out of the window, but slams into a wall of force. Impacts, falls to the ground, but there is the sound of almost like glass shattering as sparks of magic kind of out from the window. He hit it with such a force. And the most disturbing thing is unfolding from the confines of the chest is muscle,
What?
as something claws its way out. And we'll leave it there.
Sir? I'd like to speak to the manager. I'd like to speak to the manager of Akun.
This is Caranculax is
I'll
doing.
say a prayer for the thing we are about to kill.
Wow. That's dope. This is the second session in a row with a twist I did not expect.
Beast.
Because first the bad pirate ship turned to be good.
Who's the most, just before we leave for the evening, who's the most injured out of all of these people? It's Merrick, right?
Merrick, yeah.
Is he like dying?
It was the kind of he's not dead, but he's kind of bloody.
0 HP.
Alright.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
Okay, so Merrick is the worst off. Who else? How's the king doing? Soren's just gonna take one glance around, see who can heal.
The king's smiling. He looks pretty messed up, but he's smiling. And Visaya seemed to manage to. She succeeded on the save and had resolve elements up, so she seemed to have come up all right. The captain kind of got thrown to his feet by the blast, but is otherwise he wasn't hit by the fireball itself. All of the plants in here are gone. The world is just this entire room and balconies are just coated in black soot and ash. And yeah, we'll leave it there as something is clawing its way from the wreckage of the chest.
What the fucking fiend. Swear
What
to God.
the fuck?
Wow. Wow, Owen. Wow. Okay, well, we will leave it there then. We will be back next week. That'll be the 15th of November. And we'll be back to see what the fuck is coming out of this chest for us.
Huh. Any bets on whether Akun just sent him a fuck you bomb? Or somebody like swapped the chests out or something, you know?
I think this is a swap chest situation.
Might be a swap
I
chest.
think this is a fiend once is dead situation.
Yeah, I
and
feel like
he's gonna
Caranculax
go
wouldn't fuck us by giving us a trapped chest to hand over.
Maybe.
away. Yeah.
So, something happened somewhere.
Plots and mysteries.
Delightful.
Indeed.
So, anyway, y'all practice social distancing, keep your masks on, be safe,
Mhm.
take care of each other. Happy Trump isn't president for the next 1 year day. Yeah.
Well, he is president for the next 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, but
you
we
know,
don't get him for another 4 years, which is
Exactly.
so
Fuck that guy.
don't. Anyway, so take care of each other, and we'll see you next week. So
And
bye.
check chests for traps before opening them.
Indeed.
Even in the presence of the king.
Indeed. Alright. See you later, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.